a better version of the PlayStation Classic released today. Stay tuned, guys. Let's.
Welcome to his hat.
Hey guys, welcome back to Harrison Hacks. Today I'm releasing the PlayStation Classic PC Edition. This is a nice lightweight build for your PC. You can go ahead and download this, and we're going to get to the installation and the configuration and all that stuff. Very easy to do, but I just want to show you guys around the front end a little bit, and then we'll get this rocking and rolling. So basically, I've gone ahead and stuck with the 20 game limit, but I put a better games list than what Sony's released. I feel like theirs is subpar at best. They've got a few decent ones on there, maybe a handful, but nothing that really stands out. So I'm releasing the PlayStation Classic PC Edition for anyone who doesn't want to put the money out for Sony and their half-assed product, or so it seems. I really don't want to chirp too much until I've got my hands on one, and we can go from there. So I'm quickly going to go through the games list, and then we'll go through the installation and all the configuration files and stuff like that. So the first game is Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Crash Bandicoot, Dino Crisis, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy IX, yes, I'm a Final Fantasy fan, Legend of Dragoon, Metal Gear Solid, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Parappa the Rapper, Persona, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Spyro the Dragon, Siphon Filter, Tekken 3, Tomb Raider, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Twisted Metal, WWF SmackDown 2 Know Your Role, and Wild Arms. So that's the games list for this build. Let's go ahead and get it installed so we can enjoy some games. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go to the link in the description, and it's going to take you to download a text file, the PlayStation Classic link.txt. You can just open up the text file. You can see Arcade Punks is hosting this build. They host pretty much all of my content. And they also host content from many other very talented creators. So make sure you check out the entire Arcade Punks website when you get the opportunity, because it's just a phenomenal website. What we're going to want to do is highlight everything inside just like so. Right click, copy, and then go ahead and paste that into your web browser. It's going to take you to the download page. You're going to scroll down until you see the PlayStation Classic Edition. You can go ahead and download it. There's usually two options, NZB files for Usenet users, as well as torrent files. If you are a torrent user, please make sure you seed so that everyone in the community can enjoy. And after you download it, you're going to have 21 zip files, registering at 14.2 gigabytes when they're zipped up. And we're only going to focus on the PlayStation Classic.zip.001. We're going to right click, extract here with WinRAR, 7-zip, extract here, whichever one you're using. When you extract it, you're just going to have a PlayStation Classic folder. We're going to right click on the folder, cut, and this is designed for the C drive, and a little bit later in the video I will show you how you can use it on a different drive letter. So I'm going to paste it onto my C drive, just like that. We'll open it up. And first thing we're going to want to do is set up our controls. So we'll open up PlayStation Classic.exe. Excuse me. So there is sound. And you get that classic Sony intro. That takes me back. So there's going to be some video noise as well. So what that is, there are video displays here, and you get the sound of them in the background. I'm going to show you how you can turn that off. You can put on background music, you can keep it quiet, whichever you choose. First thing we want to do is press tab on our keyboard, and we're going to go up to controls, press enter, and we're going to go all the way up to back, press enter. Go to add input. Now I'm using the Xbox 360 controller, so go by that layout for the buttons. So I'm going to hit enter on add input, and I'm going to press B. I'm going to use my B button as my back button. For up, down, left, right, I mean, it's up, down, left, right. I'm going to use my D-pad as opposed to my analog stick, but it's up to you. So add input, up. Add input, press enter, press down. Left. Right. And for select, we're going to use our A button if you're using a 360 controller. So press enter, go down to add input, press enter, press A. Now we can do everything with the controller. So B to go back. Next thing we're going to want to do is come down to the configure right here. We'll press A. We'll go to add input, and for this one we're going to use our Y button on a 360 controller. We'll press B to go back. And next thing is custom 1. So we'll go to custom 1, add input. I'm going to use my X button. And then custom 3, add input. I'm going to use my back button or select button. And that is it for the controls within the front end. If we want to turn off the movie volume, we would go to sound. And we can go to movie volume. We can turn it down. I'm just going to put mine to 0 so that I can unmute my computer. So you can hear it playing, but when I back out, now it's gone. You can hear we have all the sound effects and everything like that. So if we press X, it's going to give us our preview videos. We can scroll through if we so choose with the videos, or we can press X again and scroll through the box art. If you want to change the color on the background, we're going to press Y to go to the configuration tab. We'll go to displays, Sony PlayStation. We'll go down to layout options, and then you can choose a color. So there's blue, purple, gray. There's a custom color where you can change the RGB settings there, the red, green, and blue. There's a red option, orange, green, and then we're back to blue. So I could set it to, let's say, red. And we'll go back, and now it's red. So I went with blue, and I'm going to keep mine as blue. I just feel like it's more PlayStation-y. I don't know. It's not even a word, but I just stick with blue. That's kind of what I like with this theme. Excuse me. And you can see all the games. So we're pretty much done as far as configuring the main menu. You can go ahead and play a game right now if you wanted to. This is using RetroArch, so I'm going to press my B button to exit, and that'll exit out. I'm going to go into RetroArch 175, which is the latest RetroArch out there, and I'm going to launch it up, and I'm going to make this full screen. So it's going to detect my 360 controller with no configuration needed. If your controller doesn't have that, go ahead and use your keyboard. Go over to these gears, go down to input, press enter. Now, menu toggle gamepad combo. So you're going to want to set this to whatever buttons you want to press on your controller to bring up the RetroArch menu while you're in game. So I use my 2 thumbsticks as buttons, L3 and R3. That's what it's set to right now. But you could change that if you want to. Totally up to you, but I'm going to stick with L3, R3. But for setting up your controls for playing games, we're going to go to Input User 1 Binds. Make sure your controller's selected. And then you've got the option for the B button, the left button, or the Y button on the left, start, select. So make sure you set up your controls accordingly. You can do all of that in here. Most controllers are pretty much auto-config nowadays, but if you do need to set it up, it's all in there. Once you're done setting it up, make sure that you go to User 1 Save Auto Config and hit Enter. I'm going to back up for a moment. We're going to go to Input Hotkey Binds. This is what everyone's going to need to do. So for Enable Hotkeys, I'm using my back button. So you would just press A, and then I'm using my back button. And then we're going to go all the way up to quit RetroArch, and I use the down on my D-pad, so it's kind of like the SNES Classic. If you have HackG installed, you can hit select and down to exit games. So I'm just going to press down on my D-pad, and that's it. So we'll go back, over to the little RetroArch dude, go down to quit RetroArch, hit the button. So now let's go ahead and launch a game. PlayStation Classic.exe. I'm going to skip the intro and we'll launch, I don't know, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. So I am going to mute. And if it takes a little bit to load, it's just because I'm recording. Normally the games launch no problem, but I've noticed sometimes when I'm recording it takes a little longer. That wasn't that bad at all. And if I want to get into RetroArch, I'll press my two thumbsticks. Boom. And now if I press select and down, I'm back to the main menu. So that's pretty much it for the build. You're ready to rock and roll right now. You can get up and running, get ready to play. There's one more thing I want to show you guys, and that is how to change the drive letter. If you want to use this on any drive other than the letter C, I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to exit out, and I'm going to go to my H drive. So I'm going to have it on H. Basically what you would do is take it from C and either cut or copy. So if I were to copy, go to my H drive and paste it here. I've already done that, so you guys don't have to watch it copy over. Here's PlayStation Classic. We're going to go in the folder. We're going to go into the emulators folder. And then we've got Sony PlayStation.cfg. Now, I recommend having Notepad++ installed. And it's an amazing little application, and it's something that I think everyone should use. It's much better than the Windows Notepad. So Notepad++, we'll right click on it, edit with Notepad++. And this is really easy to do. So everywhere where you see this C like this, we're gonna backspace. I'm on H drive, so H, but you would put the letter of your choosing. That was under executable. Now we're on ROM path. We'll do the same thing. And we're going to continue to do it. So with flyer, marquee, snap, and wheel. Then make sure we hit save, close, and let's launch it up. And there it is on a different drive letter. Everything's going to work perfectly. It's all good. I guess one more quick note is there is a shortcut included. I've also included the icon file. The shortcut is to go to the C drive. So this is for C PlayStation Classic. If you're using it on a different drive, what you're going to want to do is delete that shortcut, and then when you have it in place of the drive that you want, right click on your PlayStation Classic.exe, create shortcut. Now rename it. So I'm going to rename mine just PlayStation Classic, just like that. And then we're going to right click on that shortcut, properties, change icon, browse, and then go into the folder where we have our PlayStation Classic installed, and go to the PlayStation Classic.ico, open, OK, apply, OK, and now your shortcut has a little mini PlayStation console, and you'll see it on your desktop just like so, just like that one. And that's going to go with the rest of my Classic editions up there. So I'm just going to launch this up one last time. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I think I've covered everything for this build. If you do use Vintage Collection, which is another one of my, it's a massive build, but it's got a ton of different packs. If you have the Sony PlayStation pack for Vintage Collection, You can drag and drop your games in and you'll have everything readily available. If anyone wants a follow-up video on how to add games to this build, then please post in the comments, and if I get enough people, I'll definitely shoot that video if there's a demand for it. But as usual, I really appreciate everybody watching. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a patron for only, $1 a month. It really helps my channel grow. But most importantly, have a good day.